Hey everyone, this is Sharon, and in this video I'll be discussing how unclean spirits attach through tattooing and piercing. So, because of the influence nowadays through social media and these these music icons, right? The enemy has deceived people into thinking that tattoos and piercings are cool, right? So the truth is, tattoos are a branding, like a brand. And branding is claiming ownership, right? To put a brand on something, that means that you're claiming ownership of, right? Possession. So when you brand something onto your body, you are legally agreeing to inhabit whatever symbol and or word that is put on your body. All right. So as with piercings, some piercings can be traced back to tribal or ritual practices, right? Piercings could be traced back as a way to connect with the spiritual realm or honoring their deities or protection from evil spirits. So just as piercings, most symbols tattooed on people could be traced back to tribal and ritual practices, right? Where they were worshipped as deities or false gods. Excuse me, like for instance, the sun, the moon, this piece of hair is getting on my nerve. The sun, like sun, moon, the sun gods, moon gods, rain, crop, gods of war, fertility gods, and many, many others, like which were basically they're all unclean spirits, right? So there are also words and phrases that can be considered curses or spells, right? So and you putting them on your body. I talked about this in a video I did about my testimony. And really quick, I'll just tell you. So I got a tattoo of me and my ex-boyfriend, my boyfriend at the time. We got a tattoo, right? He got my name on him. I put his name on me. So unfortunately, right, he passes away. And again, legally, and here's my thing. Just because you don't agree with it does not mean that this law does not exist. There's a law, right? Law of gravity. You cannot know about it and you cannot agree with it, right? However, if you get on a building and you jump, you're going to fall because what comes up comes down, right? There's a law of gravity. The same thing is very true in the spiritual realm. So hear me when I tell you, right? Back to my story. So I got the tattoo. He passes away. His name is on me. His name is branded on me. So when he passes away, whatever spirits he was dealing with, whether he knew it or not, unclean spirits, guess what? They had legal right to come into me. His name was branded on my body. So they had a place to come. So of course, as I discussed in other videos, not only did they come, but they brought their homies, right? So now I have a ton of spirits in me. I went through a lot. I went through, again, look at my story about my testimony, my experience. I went through a lot, mental health issues, and a lot of things I went through. So as a result, so I'm very familiar, I'm very knowledgeable about what I'm saying to you. I understand, right? So, here's something, right? So if you ever seen anybody's body, if you ever seen anyone's body that's covered in tattoos, just know an unclean spirit has attached itself to that individual and brought more spirits with it, right? So nobody initially gets their first tattoo on the side of their face, right? It begins as a process. It starts as one and with a little design, and then another and another, until some people, they literally run out of space, and they tattooing their head and so on and so forth. You normally see this in heavy demonic infiltrated, like gangs, you'll see it with them. Groups, cults, you'll see that with them. Like I know, I'm not sure, like the KKK or White Power movement, like a lot of them have tattoos. And like I said, you go to the gangs, a lot of the gangs, a lot of people in jail is filled with tattoos, right? That's no coincidence. So again, and there's no judgment, but that's what the cause is. So it's just one unclean spirit on top of another unclean spirit on top of another unclean spirit just coming in, and these people are tatted up, right? Really, it's just destroying the temple of God's, destroying your temple. That's really what the purpose is. And branding, right? So again, I encourage anyone insisting on getting a tattoo or a piercing to look up the history of the tattoo or the piercing that you're getting. Look it up, please. Look up the history. Like I said before, remember, just because you don't know something doesn't mean that it does not exist and that reality is not so, right? So again, like I said, doesn't mean that certain laws don't exist. That's just how it is. And the same applies in the demonic realm. Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, right? So the tattoo parlor itself is a reflection of the spirit behind the tattoos, right? So if you ever gone into a tattoo parlor, right, check them out. Most of the time they have a very dark atmosphere. They have pictures with skeletons and skulls and black roses, like all on their walls, which is a symbol of death, actually. So I say just kind of, or their music is normally vulgar, like they have heavy metal, or they have like explicit rap on. Again, my testimony. I know of what I wrote it down, but I know of what I'm speaking of to you, right? So at the age of 19, I wrote, my boyfriend and I thought it would be cool to get a tattoo, right? Okay. By the time I was 22, I had my eyebrow pierced. I don't know if you can see my eyebrow. I had my nose pierced before. My lip was pierced. I had my lip pierced. Yeah, and like I said, I also have a tattoo. So I do know of what I speak. Excuse me. Take this off. That's not going to stop the video. So again, be mindful. Tattooing is branding. And be careful and pay attention and think about what you are really making a covenant with. Hosea 4:6, I'm just going to repeat it. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Just because it look cool now does not mean in 5 years you're going to want that. That's just a sidebar. Just, okay? And if you've gotten, a tattoo like myself, repent, and if possible, cover it up. Like what I'm saying is, so let's say, right, you repenting of your tattoos, right? Okay. And you got, a stand back here, or you got a tattoo here, or tattoos wherever. If possible, it's not a flex. Like you cannot still have them exposed, right? We don't glorify the enemy anymore at this point. So if you can cover them up, cover them up. I mean, there's some people who, you got sleeves or whatever, no judgment. It is what it is. You obviously can't be covered up all the way up to your neck. I get that. But if you can cover it up, right? So now that you know, I love you. See you in the next video.